allergies and what causes reactions?
Okay. When you think of allergies, you think of hay fever, asthma, and itchy skin. A runny nose, problems breathing, wheezing, coughing, eczema, or hives. That's classical allergies, or a bellyache when you eat a food and you're allergic to fish and you get a bellyache and hives or something. What people do not realize is that allergies can affect any area of the body or the brain, okay? So if it affects one area of the brain behind your forehead, you have to change the way you act or behave. If it affects the speech area of your brain, then you may not speak clearly or properly. If it affects the motor area of your brain, you won't be able to walk. And it causes all kinds of other medical problems that people don't realize for a second that could be allergy. And some of these medical problems, for example, are joint pain where you can't walk and you look like you have arthritis, panic attacks and anxiety attacks. It can cause problems thinking when your head feels clouded and foggy. And the people describe it as brain fog. They say, my head isn't working right. It can cause all kinds of disposition problems where you become moody and irritable and anxious. It can cause sometimes some people, instead of the lungs going into spasm causing asthma, the bladder goes into spasm, they wet their pants. You can get headaches and fatigue and irritability and easy crying and all sorts of things. And so basically what I'm saying is that allergies can affect any area of your body and your brain. The causes are almost always dust, mold, pollen, foods, or chemicals. If it's pollen, it means that you live in an area where the trees are pollinating for a couple of weeks in the spring, or you have to cut the grass all the time in the summer because the grass is pollinating, or you have the weed problems in the fall or the late summer when the ragweed is out. Now, if it's due to dust, it means that you're in a dusty place inside or outside of a house. If it's due to mold, you're worse on rainy days. You're worse if you get in a moldy place. You're worse if you're near the water, if you go to visit in Florida at the hotels. Many of them are very moldy and musty. And you'll know that you have trouble because you have the symptoms on rainy days. So dust, mold, pollen can cause trouble. Now, chemicals can cause all kinds of problems. Food, dust, mold, and pollen, it takes about 15 minutes to an hour after exposure. And it can last anywhere from 10 minutes to several weeks from one exposure. But chemicals cause trouble in seconds to a minute or so. You can smell a perfume and collapse. Some people collapse and they can't talk. Some people get asthma. Some people break out in hives. Some people get a terrible headache. Natural gas from leaks from kitchen stoves cause lots of chronic headaches and problems. If they pesticide in your area, they frequently will spray you. They spray humans, believe it or not, with toxic chemicals that are pesticides to kill a mosquito that might have West Nile encephalitis, for example. And the result is that these sprays that they spray on us are known causes of cancer, some of them. And we don't do anything about it, which annoys me. So if you are a young firebrand listening to this, think about the fact that they are able to, the powers that be can spray you with a chemical that can cause cancer, diabetes, thyroid disease, all kinds of terrible things. The average newborn baby is born now with 287 toxic chemicals. And that's in their blood and their urine, which means that they've been marinated for 9 months in toxic soup in the uterus. And these chemicals can damage the brain, the nervous system, which accounts for some of the autism and brain and learning problems in children. It can damage the endocrine system, causing thyroid disease and diabetes. It can affect the reproductive system, so that if mothers are exposed, the boys may have smaller penises, the genitals, The testicles might not be descended, and they may have different attitude towards sex when they become older. It can damage the immune system so that somebody is prone to have one infection after another, to develop allergies, and to develop cancer. People say, well, what's causing cancer? We know what's causing cancer. We just aren't doing anything about it. Read my book, Our Toxic World, A Wake-Up Call. The chemicals are a big, big part of it. If you're a farmer and you use chemicals, you're more apt to have girl babies. You're more apt to be sterile. Your sperm count will be less. Your sperm won't be as active. Your testosterone levels will be down. You'll have more birth defective babies. You'll have more women, the wives that are exposed to these chemicals have more miscarriages and stillborns. So we have major problems because of all the terrible things that we are exposed to all the time. We have problems with our air and our food and our water. And the younger people in America should say, what kind of a legacy are you leaving us with all this pollution? And what can you do about it? You can start to talk to your politicians, because they're the ones who are saying, oh, it's okay to pollute, for this factory to pollute the air because they're giving me a kickback. I'm getting money if they say that I can put more of the chemicals in the air.
Dr. Rapp, we have 1 minute to break, so I want to ask you a quick question before then.
Sure. You can stop me anytime.
Okay, thank you. This is incredible information, by the way, but I was just wondering what you think about the current chemtrails taking place everywhere.
Well, we're in so much denial that there are people saying that there are not chemtrails. And this is unfortunate. Apparently there are chemtrails. There seems to be relatively little doubt about it. And once again, I don't understand why people aren't up in arms saying, what the hell are you doing to me? If I walked up to you with a spray gun and I said, I'm going to spray you with a poison chemical that can cause cancer, would you just stand there and let me spray you and not say anything? And this is basically what we are doing. So it doesn't make any sense. And they're spraying it up in the air. And they've done studies on the pilots that do the spraying. And what do you think they develop? They develop cancer. And why do they develop it? Because they're getting a mouthful and a lungful of it every time they go up in their airplane to spray it. And they're apt to have defective children. I must say that it's very frustrating as a physician. I'm 82 years old, and I can remember when the food was good, the water was good, the air was good. This is not true now, and we are not asking for the world. A newborn baby should not have 287 toxic chemicals in their blood. This is ridiculous. We aren't taking care of the unborn, and it's not infant neglect or child neglect. It's human race and planet neglect and galaxy neglect.
Dr. Dora, this is great information, but we'd like to take a quick break and then finish up after that.
Sure, whatever you want.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're listening to the StarCHILD Network on SQR.FM radio with your host, Tiffany Howe. Please join us each Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time as we begin to empower our youth with love, light, and knowledge, guiding them to their heart center and providing a clear path to have a planet full of wonder, excitement, and self-mastery of life. Call or Skype us with questions or comments at 201-793-9022. Enter code 957-9082 and press the star 9. For additional information and tools, visit our website at www.heavenblessedlifecenter.com. Now, let's continue with our show, including our Stardust panel and wonderful guest and your host, Tiffany.
Welcome back. Actually, we have a Skyped-in listener from Linda, and she said, my 16-year-old daughter has constant sinus infections and has been on many antibiotics. I recently bought FES flower essence, yarrow, environmental solution, and I'm going to try a diffuser for the airborne. We already have a clean air machine. Do you have any advice for her?
Yes. In
Okay.
general, medicine today is not as good as it used to be 20 and 30 and 40 years ago because people don't try to find out what's causing the problem. All they want to know is how to treat it. So if you want to get well, you have to figure out why the sinus problem keeps coming back. Now, one of the reasons could be dust or mold in the house. And so if she has a good air purifier like in Austin, and you can call 480-905-9195 to check the pros and cons on that. But a good air purifier will take the dust, the mold, and the pollen and the chemicals out of the air. Very few of the air purifying machines take that out. Now, she must, there are many ways to treat sinus infections. An inexpensive way is to get a neti pot at the drugstore, ask the druggist how to use it, and just keep washing out your nose and your sinuses will start to drain, and you'll be much better. And there's some antiseptic solutions that you can put in a neti pot with a speck of salt and baking soda in it, and you can clean out your sinuses all on your own. If all you do is take an antihistamine, you won't get better in the long run. Now, you might want to go and try some homeopathic remedies that cost $12 to $15 a bottle for hay fever, and they might work effectively. There are many ways to treat problems. You can use a course of antibiotics. You can use nose drops. All of these things will help, but basically what you have to do is figure out what's causing the problem. You got a nail in your shoe causing a sore in your foot. The answer is not a bigger Band-Aid. And in medicine today, if they're just going to give you one pill after another, that's not the answer. Somebody has to spend the time to say why. If you read any of my books, I talk about the big five. And the big five basically, very quickly, is from the way you look, feel, act, behave, write, draw, walk, and talk. From your pulse and your breathing, you can easily figure out what's making you sick. You're fine, and suddenly you aren't. The question is, what did you just eat, touch, or smell? If it's something, is it due to something indoors, outdoors, a food, or a chemical? If your pulse suddenly shoots up 20, 30 points, if you have aspirin, you know what a peak flow meter is, just a plastic tube with a gauge on it. If you blow 400 before you eat and 300 after you eat, you just ate a food that's causing asthma. If you blow 400 before you go to bed, 300 when you get up in the morning, you're allergic to your honey. No, I'm kidding. You're allergic to something in the bedroom, and it might be the mattress, which some of the new mattresses are form-fitting to your body and loaded with chemicals that make you sick. It might be the fabric softener on your sheets. So you start to analyze and you can figure out the answers.
Can you tell us about long-term effects that are from untreated allergies?
Oh, the long-term effects? Well, you're going to have one infection after another. They're going to give you one antibiotic after another. The antibiotics are going to cause yeast infections. So you're going to get, women will get a vaginal discharge and an itchy bottom, and so will the men get an itchy bottom. You'll tend to have, many times you might develop an odor to your hair and your feet from the yeast problem. You may get a red ring around your anus from the yeast problem. So that's one of